Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by our buddies at Love Excavating.
Today's episode is brought to you by Love Excavating. Listen, when we say that we like doing business with local companies, we mean it. Why do local companies matter? Well, local companies donate to youth sports programs. Local companies hire local folks to work for them. Local companies give when civic and nonprofit organizations ask. And we appreciate Love Excavating for doing everything they can do in the community as a local company. The next time you need demolition, land clearing, or hauling done, don't hesitate. Call Love Excavating today, a local company that is deeply ingrained in this community that we call home. The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen podcast coming to you from, that's right, Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchmen! Yeah, yeah! The Wondering Dutchmen! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wondering Dutchmen podcast coming to you from, that's right, Smoker's Lounge. Today's episode is brought to you by Love Excavating. I am Esquire, and I'm joined at the table by two handsome-looking devils. The first with the first wearing the rose-colored glasses, the pride of Richmond, Indiana. It's our buddy, your friend, and if he's sober, probably wouldn't talk to you because he's got social anxiety. Oh, Smoke Dragon.
Hello.
Sitting here wearing the all black, looking pretty slim. It's our buddy. Kind of the pride of Holland, Indiana. There's a few other people from Holland, Indiana who are like, I don't know, one was maybe drafted first round, 20-something overall. There's, a couple other people there, but he's pretty close up there to the top five. Top five.
Definitely top five.
Is our buddy, and he doesn't have to be drunk to talk to you out in public. Big Mace.
Hello, friends.
Fellas, what we got?
I'll tell you what we got. In real time,
It's hotter than a
27th.
frickin' mule. What is a mule? It's hotter than mule in August on the Serengeti Plains.
They wouldn't use mules in the Serengeti.
I
They'd
would
use
if I had
camels.
one.
Yeah, camels. It's 82 degrees in here. We popped the door open, and I tell you, the shop door, it's December 27th. We got the shop door open,
Guys,
so we can record.
I seen,
And we need to do this more often. That view is...
I kind of like
it too.
Yeah, we could just move old White Lightning and Polar Bear.
Yeah.
White
a lot
Lightning.
of white vehicles, and it looks like the goddamn feds are here.
Well, they drive dark ones.
No
Oh,
shit.
that's right.
We are. We got one white Ford, one white Chevy, one
Another
white
white
Ford,
Ford.
another white Chevy,
Yeah.
and a gray Dodge. Yeah, we could just get these things out of the way, and hell, we could broadcast
Great
to
view.
broadcast to the masses.
Well, and we're here by ourselves. We have
and
nobody.
it's daylight.
Yeah, no couch people. Yeah, still daylight.
It's
In
daylight.
December.
Yeah.
Well, when we went out there to do the, because we everybody knows we record 2 episodes, one sitting. When you went out to relieve yourself
Batch
of
production.
Smoker's Lounge, I told Dave, I said, you got to be real careful because you're peeing in daylight.
Apparently, you're more well endowed than me because I don't have to be careful if the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Highways at least 100 yards away.
Oh,
Couldn't
well,
see this one from space.
it's kind of one of those.
yeah.
One of those deals.
I was driving today. We did a little hauling. We had to. We usually take some downtime, and when the weather's inclement, and we'll do Operation Cleanup, and we'll take care of like the limb pile, the sweeper pile, the grass clippings and stuff, and we haul it out to a local fill site. And we were coming back in for lunch. I am not. God strike me down if I am lying, but it was raining like cats and dogs. And be damned if the same quote that you just made, December 26th,
27th.
7th, a God-blessed green terrapin turtle walked across the road in front of me on 17th Street, right there by the funeral or the nursing home.
Yeah.
Coming out of that big ditch, walking over towards Oak Ridge Apartments.
Really?
I mean, this some bitch was the size of a pie pan, and he just come trotting out of the ditch up over the curb.
Eh?
Yeah, trotting. Yeah, he was on a good clip, but come over the curb and I stopped and I just let him go on. And he did not look like winter lethargic. He looked pretty spry.
Hell yeah.
Realistically.
Well, it's that time of the year in southern Indiana.
It's 61 degrees outside.
where you'll go from
56 according to my watch.
freezing.
You can turn off the oscillation.
No, it's good. I'm great.
You'll go from freezing to, short weather's year round for me, but freezing to you could play golf today.
I'm surprised
you'd have to
there's
wear
not
your
more
waders.
foundation
Yeah.
issues as much rapid change in ground conditions. I feel like that'd be bad for
Well, it's only
foundation.
so deep, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only so
You
deep.
can only go so far.
Yeah, you can only go so deep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it's just kind of one of those deals.
I mean, enough is enough,
Yeah.
Well, and I saw something, and it was online, so you never know if it's true.
I've seen somebody say that 4 inches is fine. I could work with that. That was her exact words.
Oh.
And this woman looked like she knew her way around them. If you know what I mean. Like she looked like she knew her way around them.
Yeah. Are you guys, sometimes I get in that mood of let's get past the holidays and get back into routine.
1,000%. We were just having that conversation. Me and buddy of mine, Matt Bagelin, was just having that conversation the other day about especially him being a fellow twin dad.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh man,
Brooks,
I said you're right in the thick of it right now, pal, because you're the boys are mobile. They're in that exciting, fun time, but
Oh, yeah.
they're still not 100% self-sufficient. To where you still obviously they require naps. They still 100% require routine.
Yeah.
A twin parent is built on routine. A twin, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Naps, diaper changes, feeding times, all of it. It has to be boom, boom, boom. And he's like, yeah, doesn't it suck? Didn't it suck back then whenever like you had to go 19 different places and, come here and show face? And it's like, these people don't understand. Like if these kids don't get naps, it's going to be miserable for everybody. So wouldn't it be nice to just like send a card and say, well, sorry, we missed it. It was nap time.
We'll catch up in second grade.
Yeah, we'll see you in 3 years. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, dude, I've rode that boat. You know what I mean? Like I've
Well, and Biggs's boys
Yeah.
and my boy are the same age.
wide open, baby.
And Zoe can run
Mhm.
without a nap. Like that girl's good to go.
Yeah, she's there.
But like Rhino, you can tell like it's starting to wear on him a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like
They turn into dicks.
he went to his first college party
Mm-hmm.
and he hit the Jello shots
Mhm.
early, thinking they
I mean,
wouldn't
they
take
just
an
turn
effect.
into dicks.
And the tequila, and the next thing you know,
That's such a funny statement if you take it literally.
What?
Like,
They turn
I
into
just picture
dicks.
little kids turning into.
I mean, they do. Craig even said it the other day about one of his little boys. He's like, man, he's such a dickhead when he gets tired. And I'm like, there is no other polite way to put that. Like, you are being an asshole. But they've got FOMO so bad that they can't just shut it off and take
Yeah.
a nap. You know what I mean? Because they're going to miss something.
Well, there's sponges taking it all in.
Well,
they want to
yeah.
have a good time.
Well, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't- sometimes I feel like now, here it is, December 27th. I mean, it's kind of a, fuddy-duddy this year too, because New Year's Eve's on a Tuesday night, so then like Thursday or Wednesday will be off, but then right back to work on Thursday.
Yeah.
well,
Do you
and I
have to
tell
work
you what,
New Year's Eve?
It actually, strangely enough, it just became a holiday. Now the resort is open 24/7, 365. Casino, go in, have a great time. But they just made it a holiday, which is strange to me because New Year's Eve is like a huge day in our calendar up there.
Oh, I guarantee it. Yeah, probably one of your biggest, I would imagine.
But it's one of those deals where it's like, since it's a holiday now, like I won't go in. But in years past, like I've worked till noon, I've worked till 3.
Do you work New Year's Day or New Year's
Yeah,
Eve?
but
I'm sorry?
I had one last PTO day to go, so I put it in for New Year's Eve. I'll probably go in the morning though.
Well, here's the question.
I'll have some folks
we
working
work
still.
like normal.
So how does your PTO work? Like, does yours like roll over? Like, does yours go calendar year?
So we get it. So my anniversary date's in June, but on January 1st, mine resets.
That's the
So what do your guys' reset
yeah.
at the end of the calendar year?
Negatory. I'm sorry. Yes, our part of our compensation package does. Our sick time and our personal time does. Our vacation time recycles on your hire date. Try that on.
Hourly salary is use it or lose it. Hourly, if you don't use it, you get paid out for it at the end of the year.
Here's one.
But again, there's a freeze. So like by December, the first week of December,
If you don't
have it in, you're not getting it.
You're not getting
You're going to get paid out for it. Now you can take an unpaid day off if something comes up.
That wouldn't count for points or anything like that.
But you can't take.
So if
paid
you don't
PTO.
use your personal days, you lose them.
Yeah.
You can roll your sick time and carry up to 170 hours of sick time. You can roll your vacation. You can carry a week of vacation over, and you can carry up to 60 hours of comp time. But everything else, you got to use it.
So ours, like any raises you get or anything starts that first pay.
Yeah, January.
I guess
1.
that second pay, whatever would include that.
I think we figured it out that this year's would be our new wage would take effect on December the 14th.
So then, like for our PTO, that is like it's a March period for some reason. So you can carry over 200 hours. Anything over 200 hours, you lose. But see, like we don't have sick time, we don't have personal days.
That's how it was.
Same with
All like
we got PTO.
That's how it was
Yeah.
at the mine. The mine used to be where it was this many days of this many days of that, and then they got rid of all of that system and went to a traditional PTO system.
No, I
where
need to.
everything. But the thing at the mine was you had to carry enough PTO time to compensate for your holidays as well. They put your PTO time for the holidays in your Gen Pop bank.
really.
Yeah, so you could really screw yourself by the end of the year
If you took it all.
if you didn't have enough compensation.
Because they're not going to let you come in on Christmas Day.
No, you're going to get dinged for it. You're going to get occurrences or points for it because if you don't have enough for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve, you were hosed.
Oh, because that's a big company, right? Like you're at one mine, but it's a much larger
Fortune
company.
500, the biggest coal company in the world.
So that probably does them a lot because what that does, if they do it that way, what it really saves them on is insurance and the taxes they pay in.
Yeah.
So if you use it up and don't have it, then you're responsible for your own insurance costs for that window of time because it's not part of the pay.
That's a wild thing. So
I would imagine. I don't know that for sure, but that's first thing pops.
the resort does 2 floating holidays. And then
Never mind.
New Year's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July.
Now floating,
Labor
like
Day,
you get to pick it.
Thanksgiving Day. Yes.
They call it a floater.
They call
for
it a
us,
floating holiday.
but it's always Black Friday for us.
So we also
Really?
Yeah, they call it a floater.
That you should be able to use whenever you want.
we have a floating holiday. Yeah, so it changes year to year, but what they'll do is they'll look at the calendar
Yeah.
and say, July 4th falls on a Thursday this year. Let's give everybody Friday so we get a long weekend.
We got
Gotcha.
hosed. We got hosed one time because what month? Let's see. What part of the year are there no holidays?
October.
Technically.
Well, you get into, let's see. So
I don't know why I said technically.
March.
January has Martin Luther King Day.
So what?
February, nothing. March, nothing. April, nothing.
Okay.
No, April has Good Friday.
Good Friday. Sorry.
Right. So Good Friday was never one of our holidays.
June
down
doesn't
there.
have anything.
Juneteenth. That's one of mine.
Okay. We get
Columbus
yep.
Day. They took away Black Friday from us at the mine
Okay.
and gave us Columbus Day.
Which
because
none of you
that was-
guys would give 2 shits about.
No,
Columbus Day.
because the reason that they took Black Friday because
But Indigenous Peoples Day is very important to people like me.
there was too many people, brother. There was too many holidays in a row at the end of the year.
Yeah.
At the end of that fiscal year where they were losing out on too much production there at the
Yeah.
end.
So when I was in private practice, it was wild.
Like we were so pissed. Like what do you even do on Columbus Day to celebrate? You know what I mean? Like go and
Drink.
rape and pillage. You know what I mean? Like what do you mean?
yeah.
Let's go give smallpox to a small community.
We when I was in private practice, I always loved when the county would release, because the courthouse obviously ran on that schedule. And I think there
On the
was,
federal schedule?
well, whatever schedule for the holidays, it mimics that. And I looked at it one year, and it was like 14 holidays that they laid claim to, 13 or 14. And I was like, that's just a wild.
You know, I mean, honestly, where I'm working at, I think we have 10 paid holidays. The vacation package is better than most places when you start.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Do you have to wait a year to get your vacation?
No,
See,
you
ours-
start off high as shit
We
there.
don't. We don't.
So this is my 10th year, and I'm at 21 days. But also, it's happened since I've stopped having children. But like we offer paternity leave now,
Yeah.
as well as maternity leave,
We had that too.
and it's the same amount. Like, and
Ours was unpaid though. We could get 12 weeks unpaid of paternity for bonding,
so
but
it's
it was
bonding time.
excused. You know what I mean?
And at least your benefits go and everything. But yeah, but it's an excused time. It's pretty good deal. Like they're
I
pretty
think
on
at the
top
end
of
of the
their shit.
mine, I was at.
Or good to their folks, I should say.
So what's that? You know, if you figure it 240 hours divided by a 10-hour shift, that's about 24 days. But I had to carry enough to cover my holidays,
Right.
but we didn't get them all. We just got the big ones.
So I've got 168 hours of PTO and 10 paid holidays.
Yeah,
So I'm right at
we have
3 weeks in a
I
day.
think
No,
I think the
good grief,
state.
160 is 4 weeks.
no. Yeah, so I got 4 weeks plus another one is 5 weeks plus 4 more days. 3 weeks and 5.
So
Jesus,
I'll have.
why do you even go to work?
For those holidays.
We,
I,
yeah, Lord, we get 12, isn't it? State,
yeah,
the state grants 12.
12 or 13.
Yeah.
I think it depends on if it's a national election,
Mm-hmm.
which I just saw where President-elect Trump said he was going to make Election Day a federal holiday where nobody worked.
I think the Monday after Super Bowl is probably the best
That's the
one.
best political news I've heard in half a decade.
Not to get political.
Yeah.
Next
Hey!
year's Christmas is on a Thursday, so save one of those PTA. Nobody's
Friday.
going to want to work that 26th. That's
I
for
bet
sure.
you that's where a floating holiday falls in.
For you guys,
It'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Oh, no, that's already out. I bet we don't, or else I'd know.
Yeah,
You know what I was thinking about?
Fried chicken.
hankies.
Sorry,
What a
that-
wild deal.
Yeah.
What's a hanky?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, like
It's
a
not
handkerchief?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day. My grandpa always kept one. I use them as on my head, but he always had them to blow his nose in.
Why would you not just put hanker? Well, the spelling would probably be an
It's
issue.
a hanky.
Like I think a hanky,
My-
like a kid's like blanket or something they carry
No,
around.
grandpa even
That's a
called-
banky.
I feel
Oh,
like
my
my
banky.
grandpa was.
My dad and grandpa always referred to them as their hanky. I
I'm
need to get
pretty
a
sure
hanky.
my grandpa did too, and I feel like he was pretty. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
Worldly, proper,
Proper.
Gentlemanly.
chief, handkerchief,
Gentlemanly, maybe. Like
Yeah.
that was a thing for him. Like,
dapper, like a
not that he was like.
no, yeah, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Manly,
but he was
a-
like he was a proper guy, and he would call it a hanky.
The
God,
What makes
it
him a
blows my
wild
mind
deal?
to think about blowing your nose where maybe you blew your nose before.
Okay, so that's
Or
where
when
I'm
they
going
hand
with.
it to
I
you?
knew for a fact that this was going to give him the hella ick, and that's why I brought it up. I'd say this is probably going to give you the ick too, because you've got that sense of normalcy where he's like on the spectrum weird about shit.
Yeah, that's true.
for sure.
I was sicker than shit. We've already established that.
Well
Just like my
documented.
wife said that, I'm really riding this man flu thing pretty hard,
Yeah, you did.
on my deathbed type stuff. Sleeping in the garage and, the pouting and everything. Yeah, whatever. My nose has been running for 6 days.
Think all the calories it burnt.
Right.
Ooh,
Thank
but
God. I know my nose is looking a little thinner. But I couldn't take it anymore. My nose Friday night when we recorded last week was so raw that you could have fried an egg on my lip. Like it was just so hot and bothered and burning, and I couldn't take it.
yeah,
I went to Blesch's
Dutch Mart.
Dutch Mart. After that, no, it wouldn't have been after that. Because what time did we get done? It was late, right? Friday night, probably. Late.
Yeah,
I mean,
they wouldn't have been.
It was
open.
close closing time. So it would have been the next day. I had called my mom and I said, "Hey, do you have any Kleenexes with lotion?"
You should have let me know. We got a
Right.
Sam's Club box.
And so I said no. She said no. I've got just puffs, extra soft. Well, I was looking for the ones with lotion, and our friends at the Dutch Mart, they did. They had them. So I got me a box, and I had to have a trash can next to the bed, because I was just filling it up. We were going out on the town. I was feeling better enough to get out and go places, and I was like, I don't want to have a whole shit pot full of Kleenexes like in my pocket. So I dig through the drawer of the dresser, and I go down into the old
biker section.
Yes, in the biker section, and I found a black bandana, a paisley
That's
black.
what Grandpa always carried. Blue though.
Yeah, Dad's were red and blue,
Yeah,
and I
Grandpa
think
had
they
a-
were Wrangler brand even back in the day, and then it switched to RK and whatever. But I was like, man, I'm gonna carry a hanky, and I'm gonna blow my nose in this hanky, and I did it for like 3 days.
the same one.
The same one.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, but my snot wasn't, let's see.
More fluid than
Yes.
mucus.
More just plain liquid snot. Like it wasn't phlegmy.
This I just gagged a little.
Yeah. So it wasn't those big, like chunky Colby
Okay.
hackers. It was more of like just the
Dave's out.
clear sinuses stuff.
Yeah.
And it didn't get crunchy or it didn't get
got
hard
it.
and none of that.
Picasso's paint the picture
And-
over here.
And I had it in my pocket, and I took it out and I blew my nose, and then I folded it up while
the U side was down.
while we were driving, and I put it in the cup holder of my car.
Yeah.
And Max looked at me like I had literally just like took a shit in my own hand, and then like just set it on the dash. And I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Is that a hanky?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had to blow my nose." He goes, "Oh, those are gross." He's like, "Papa's got those in the car, like laying on the floor and shit, and they're all hard and nasty." And I was like, "Oh man!" But that got to me to thinking, like it used to be like such a commonplace thing. My grandpa Marvin, World War II veteran, like a man's man, like you couldn't be. They don't make them like that anymore. He carried one every day, but his was just like a white piece of fabric. My grandma was a quilter.
Yeah.
My grandma was a quilter.
That's my
So
grandpa Sissel. His was all.
It would have been like
white.
the white end off of a roll of fabric, like
Yep.
for quilting or something, and they just throw it in their pocket.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it now, Grandpa would hand me his. Blow your goddamn nose.
Yes,
And
that's
I'm like-
100% sure. Or you would have,
And I would, but thinking about it now makes me really
Some of
want
them old gentlemanly folk would carry two. One they used and one they offered. So you may be okay there, Dave.
So my dad or grandpa, I would have like, when you're kids and you got them big old snot boogers hanging down on your lip. Yep. I mean, whip that summit out. Whoosh, you know what I mean? Come here, God damn it. You know what I mean? And you do the old pinch and squeeze where you're milking your nose out into that, and then they just fold her back up and put her in your pocket.
Well,
And I don't know. I mean, that is extremely taboo. Like Dave's about to vomit just
but I
thinking
think
about
them
it, but-
old timers,
Yep.
when they carried them,
Yep.
it was just for
Was
that.
snot different?
For that little bit. They may not have been deep in the weed sick.
My dad carries one every day of the week.
No. I get it, but your dad's not battling a sinus infection. every day.
Negative. No, but I mean, like,
If he was, he'd still be carrying.
yeah. And anytime you blow your nose, I mean, there'd be whole ass boogers in there.
I get it, but
You know
those
what I
guys,
mean?
they have a folding pattern to what they do. to where they know.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't use it the next day had he been blowing that
Yeah.
shit in there.
A
No,
lot of
he's got-
times these old timers
He's
they
got
get a little
1,600 of them, and he's got a whole ass, like, underwear's in this drawer, socks are in this drawer, and hankies are in this drawer.
And this is why I was thinking about this recently, because now that the Harley's gone, I mean, look at the logo. It was a bandana thing. I always wore them, but I'm like, man, maybe it's time. I'm 40. Maybe it's time to iron these out to where they don't have the tie marks in them and start carrying them for my runny ass nose.
Dave's all
My
over.
runny ass nose.
That's what I said about it the other day. God dang hanky.
I don't know. That's what I just said. It's a wild deal. And I mean, I know a lot of people probably get the ick from it, and I'll probably catch some
Oh, I
flack.
get the ick.
probably catch a lot of flack from it, but I just thought, man, it was a lifesaver in that situation because, like, I blew my nose last Friday when we were recording with those Tougher than John Wayne shop towels over there.
Oh, those are soft right there.
Well, you would think, but one after another,
when Big Fella's little nose was all raw.
my pinky nosy nose was a little sore. Yeah, it sucked, but I don't know. Does your dad carry a hanky still?
Nope.
Really?
No, sir.
And my dad may not carry one now, like every day, all the time, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, if I think about my old man, what he's got in his pocket, it's probably going to be some change. It's probably going to be his old timer.
Yep.
It's probably going to be a tube of Aquaphor. Used to be Blistex. He used to be strictly a Blistex guy. But now I think he's switched to the Aquaphor with like the angle cut lip applicator.
Yeah.
And then wallet and a hanky for sure. And now a cell phone, you know.
No, I
obviously.
think we tried to get as a
Group.
Society.
Yeah, society.
There
Yeah,
you go.
it wasn't race or being, but I couldn't figure it out. Because I tell you something, I never saw my grandpa do because he was gentlemanly.
Blow his nose in front of others.
No, the
Snot
snot
rockets.
rocket.
yeah, he'd blow his nose in front. And now, see, Jenna gives me shit because I sneeze loud and I blow my nose loud. But Grandpa,
No, that's not
like
true.
you could hear.
You know what
that
she
from,
gives
like,
you the most shit about?
throat clearing.
Clearing your throat.
Yeah, well, yeah, but both. Like I sneeze, like I'm a guy. You know what I mean? Like real. Okay, it doesn't sound like the like that.
I know a
But I'm a
kid that I
loud
work
sneezer,
with
like-
sneezes like Donald Duck. You're damn right. That noise that you just make comes out in a louder form.
When I go to sneeze,
I'm a violent sneezer.
I let it rip.
Me too.
I hold it in if I'm at work because I know I sneeze loud and I feel like my throat bubbles out like a frog.
Do you go like? Do you do that?
See, that would hurt.
It does hurt.
Oh, that's so dumb. You know, if you do that with your eyes open, they'll blow out of your head.
No, they won't.
That's true.
True story.
Mythbusters,
True story.
bud.
You wait. I'm going to blow my
Mythbusters.
nose or I'm going to
You
sneeze.
cannot sneeze. I will give you $1 million if you can sneeze with your eye open.
You ain't got $1 million to give me or else you wouldn't be podcasting.
If I did have it, though, I'd bet you. Okay, I'll give you $25 if you can sneeze with
Next
your
time
eye.
I got to sneeze, I'll look you right in the eye.
I bet you $1,000. Well, there's now we went from 20 to 1,000. But I bet you any amount of money that your eyes will shut.
I think I could do it.
No, he can't.
What
It's
if
a
he
natural.
pops
It's
his
a
eyes
natural
out?
thing. It's a natural response.
Yeah, my eyes get stuck to the back of my rose-colored glasses like those sticky fingers.
Dave, why are you so bug-eyed? Well, I tried to sneeze when I.
Got me $20 though.
Changing gears a
Yeah,
little
what
bit.
you got?
The effect of
Probably
Christmas
goddamn.
movies
Says you
and
can't.
Christmas music. You wrong again on the old Googler?
No.
The effect of Christmas movies and Christmas music. And I was thinking about this as I watched. I know we're past the Christmas holiday when this comes out, but I was thinking about why people love the classics, A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life. It is a deep tie to the nostalgia of our childhood and
Sentimentality.
yesteryears. And it makes us all so sentimental. But I was thinking about it. This is the only thing that honestly does that to us.
There was a comment made when I told you I went to the neighbors on Christmas Day.
Well, I don't know that you told us that you went. You said you were invited.
And I did go.
Okay.
But I made the comment to them because there were still a bunch of kids there. Like they were done with all the, what do you want to call it? Like the,
Gift opening and all that
yeah,
stuff.
there's none of that. Everybody's just bullshitting and hanging out.
Hanging loose, yeah.
But it was, you know, there was aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews and grandnieces and nephews. And I said to them specifically, man, this is really great that you guys, you know, get everybody together and doing that. And there was a comment made about how I was getting sentimental about stuff. But
Yeah.
I just thought it was real cool to see.
Well, but
and maybe because I'm farther from home, I don't get home every year. Or, you know, I try to get home probably once every 5 years I'll get home.
I got asked if you had a Christmas to go to.
Yeah, we go to the in-laws.
Well, I know, but like on your side.
Not every year.
I know, and that's what I told him, and that's what I told these people, and they were like, "Well, just he can come here if he wants."
Well, it's not like Dave is homeless when it comes to
No,
that.
and this person knew that,
Yeah.
but they were just inquiring, like, does he have to go? Do they have to go up there? You know, every time? And I was like, no, I don't think so. No.
It's just I don't know. I was just thinking about it, and it's
I think it brings it back for me, just like when we were sitting in the garage having the conversation Christmas Eve. But
yeah.
it's like that movie. You know what I mean? Like when you were watching the movie, we were just conversating, but then catching parts that were like monumental or sentimental to us or me or you or whatever in the time of the movie, you know. And like we were at Justine's grandparents on Christmas Eve night, and that was obviously on the TV. And I said, "Oh yeah, I can't." She said, "What channel is it on?" And I said, "It's on TBS. It will be every year until they turn stupid and decide to not do it anymore."
Really hope they don't.
And
do
I
that.
know, and I said that was something that I can remember. Like I can remember that from as long as I can live, that I'm alive. How do I say that?
As long as I can remember that as far back as I can remember.
Yes, about watching that on Christmas Eve at Grandma's, and Angie said, "I don't think I've ever seen it start to finish."
Jenna hasn't.
And I was like, "Holy shit, are you kidding me?"
Wild.
I know,
That
and it's
bumpus
like,
sounds.
yeah, those bumpus sounds. That was one when you
Yeah.
quoted, you know, it's like, God, shimmer, shimmer. Those damn bumpus sounds. And Casey, like, he hit it verbatim, like, didn't miss a lick, you know.
I did.
Like, you know, it's like those minutes of that movie, and that's what has affected me to then transfer that to my kids. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't never made my kids sit down and watch that start to finish, but they probably have seen the highs and lows enough to know what movie it is.
Yeah.
You know, with the leg lamp and the dogs and the soap bar
Fragile.
and the tongue, like
Must be Italian.
sticking the tongue on, you know, when Flick put his tongue on the flagpole and they triple
double
dog dared.
Yeah.
And then Grant was like, "Don't do it, Max. That really happens." And then Grant's like, "But factually, do you know what they did to make his tongue stick like that in the movie?"
That's exactly
put
what I
water
told you.
on it.
No, they put a. You did you tell me
it was
that
You. They had a vacuum.
they put a vacuum?
They had a vacuum in it that they sucked. There was a little
Alright.
hole there. He placed it, and the vacuum is what pulled it.
Mhm.
kept
That
it
way he
pulled.
could do that one part where he's like trying to.
And
stretch
he
it
wasn't
out.
actually froze to it.
No.
That's smart. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little behind the scenes. Well, and I don't
a
know
little
if it was
inside
you.
baseball.
If I don't know if it was you or I told Janelle, and because I think we were watching it, and I said, "Mom hated this movie."
I know.
Absolutely
That's what she
hated this
said.
movie. So we would never be able to watch it till she like went to bed. Now, as time went on, she would. I mean, because we'd watch it religiously before we went to bed. But she just wasn't a big fan of it, and I'd have to ask Dad again. But I think I've asked him before, and he didn't know why. And I don't know if it was maybe the portrayal of the wife in that situation where obviously it was, you know, she was stay-at-home mom figure, you know, took care of the family, took care of all that stuff. My mom was a career woman, like breadwinner, like those different things. So I don't know if that bothered her, but I love it. The kids,
Nah.
they don't sit still long enough
Yeah,
to watch
they're
it, but
not
they
there
will
yet.
when they
Yeah.
get there. But I was just thinking about how somebody could play the Rudolph claymation video or movie, and you will lock in and watch it.
Guaranteed.
And you
There's
know,
no Burl Ives
Yeah.
getting after it.
Newton,
Guaranteed.
Illinois' own Burl Ives.
Yeah.
And people are like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Well, I was driving through Newton, Illinois, and
Yeah.
legitimately there's a statue of him in the square." But it's
Yeah,
just,
and then when the Yeti comes out and Rudolph, you know, and that whole, like, there's just the most terrible animation you've ever seen in your life, but it's just forever will hold a.
but
will
you know
hold-
what?
will
But
hold
like,
that spot.
I don't look at, like, I think Elf has its funny parts,
Oh God, I
but-
won't watch it.
but to me,
That's Jenna's favorite.
Elf
film.
is not like that
Can't
great of a Christmas movie.
Justine went to the
Yeah.
movie theater with one of her ex-boyfriends. Mother. That's why. That's why I
Wait,
always
were you
give-
guys dating it?
No,
Oh.
I never give. I always give her shit about it because she's like, "Oh yeah, one time me and went to see this at the movies," and I'm
Oh, she'll even name drop.
turn
you
it
guys?
off. You know what I mean? No, she hated his guts too. It was
Oh,
just
okay.
like a thing. She was a new girl looking for.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
But that's wild though. But like my kids, they might find, like for us, like Home Alone is right on that fringe
Oh yeah,
where we were young enough to where like that was it. But to me, like Elf's not there. Like some of these new Christmas movies.
Speaking of
aren't
Home
there.
Alone, did you see Brother Jason and his family? Did you see
Yeah.
that? Did you see that?
Did you see
yeah.
the makeup job for the
Yes,
iron?
the iron. Like
was awesome.
That
That's
is
pretty good.
Those guys, they go hard on that stuff, and I appreciate that. I think that's funny as hell. Yeah, so shout out to you miring squad out there. That was really
That was
cool.
pretty good. That's a lot of work to get themed up.
You're right.
Yeah. Hey, and it's time for a quick pause for the cause. This pause for the cause is brought to you by Love Excavating. Have big plans in 2025 for constructing a new home, a garage, or that shop you've always wanted? Is your potential build site less than ready for that building? Well, the good news is Love Excavating can handle it. Just earlier in December, Love Excavating was in action preparing a future home site just off Highway 64 by the Holland Junction. Love Excavating is your go-to when it comes to land clearing, site prep, and then any hauling that needs to be done. Trust the professionals with the experience at Love Excavating for your next building site. All right, Smoke Dragon. Performance vehicles in heavily congested metropolitan areas.
So we were driving to, as we know, we've talked about, a few weeks ago, I was down there in Tampa for work, and we left at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Trivia.
7:15, I guess, on a Friday morning to go to the airport. It's about a 25-minute drive. Took a little longer, lots of traffic. And I was just really surprised at all the high performance, and I mean, not like Bugattis or anything, but, you know, like fast cars, like not race cars, but like sports cars. And I'm like, what in the hell is the point of having that when you're gridlocked, even on the interstate, the only 75-mile-an-hour road you got, and you're doing 3 miles an hour here, the whole ass trip you got to go. And it just seems like a real waste of time. And I guess if you're just buying it to be flashy, there's other things that you could buy that aren't a sports car to show people that you've got more than they do. So what is the draw to it, you reckon?
Well, I don't know either, but it just seems like people in metropolitan areas that have these this category of car usually drive like morons. They're usually loud, obnoxiously loud, and I don't see the draw either. I think if I was a city driver, like a heavily congested metropolitan driver, I mean, obviously me being a portly fella, some of the compact vehicles would be tough.
Yeah, I'd want as close to a lazy boy on wheels as I could get.
100%. I'm talking like a Honda Civic. Or like a obviously a 4-door.
I think I'd get one of those Mercedes vans.
No, those are huge.
Right. Plenty of room to stretch out.
Well, how are you going to park that son of a bitch?
Doesn't matter. Most of your time spent driving to where you got to go. Little mini fridge in the back, little cocktail bar, perhaps.
Here's
microwave.
Here's my take on it. In these metropolitan areas that may have an uptick in carjackings and other things, I am driving the least fancy thing.
Yeah. I want to be
find
under the radar for sure.
You know, these guys that got big fancy watches, not a chance. Big fancy this, big fancy that, you instantly become a target.
That's right.
That's my take on it. Now, if you told me that I could have one of those that's set up there, well, I wouldn't own one anyway because we live on 1025 and it's Rock Road. But and you never know what my driveway situation is going to be. But it is one of those deals where, to me, in those areas, it doesn't make sense, but people got money to blow.
I was overdoing it, and I shouldn't do this. But looking at the folks, seeing some at a gas station here or there, it's like, man, I bet you're not working a job that you can justify this $90,000+ vehicle that you're driving. And like, so we weren't in Tampa. It's actually Oldsmar. It's like a suburb of Tampa, but there's not even any. Like everything's crowded. There's not a place you could go. Like here, you could find a place.
You could park in the back row. You could walk a little bit,
or you could find a place to open it up that's not the interstate. Like, hey, there's a long stretch, a pretty good stretch of highway here. There's a couple miles anyway.
What's basically you're driving it? What's the need for it? Whenever you don't really,
because you're looking at driving it from the performance standpoint. Yes. This thing's got some.
Like I could make the old side by side sound throaty if I wanted to spend enough money. You know,
throaty.
We were stuck in traffic, just wabba wabba. And I'm like, okay, well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shit, man, get a Caprice. They had
those guys.
Cop shocks, cop motor, cop exhaust.
Those guys are idiots. You know what I mean? And
Well, and they're compensating for something.
Yeah, shit fire.
Save a match.
Goddamn kids.
Anyway,
I don't know.
That was just something I put
but
in
no,
my
that
notes.
you're 100% right. Like I don't know what the draw is for it either. I think if I was in the city, I would drive a van. You know what I mean? Like I would drive a van for my buddies to whatever. You know, we could just go down to the car park and park the car and go to the bar and have a few drinks and stuff like that. I wouldn't want no big ass flashy car.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if I'm driving like a moron in a minivan versus driving like a moron in a shiny red Camaro,
People get out of your way if you're in a piece of shit because they know you can't cover the bill if you're right there. Like,
Yeah, if
this
I'm in a
broke motherfucker.
I'm in a shiny red Corvette that's louder than hell. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to jail a hell of a lot quicker.
You're going to draw the
Oh,
attention of our law enforcement buddies. Or if you're in the minivan, they're going to be like, some soccer mom that's probably got 3 kids and a deadbeat husband.
Yeah, beating kids,
Ain't
trying
gonna-
to drive,
Ain't
get them
gonna,
to daycare.
ain't gonna
This
bother.
bitch is pissed off.
Yeah.
More or less.
Stay out of that way.
Yeah.
Hey, it is time for Brado's 3 Big Things, brought to you by Merkley and Sons.
Listen, January is all about making and likely breaking New Year's resolutions. One New Year's resolution that you won't break is making sure that Merkley & Sons is your family's official provider for quality cuts of meat and other products you need for your family in 2025. Merkley & Sons is right here in our backyard and is a family operation that you know and you trust. Make sure Merkley & Sons is a stop on the shopping list every time you're out getting the groceries. They are the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts for a reason.
All right, fellas, a complicated case. A 10-year-old boy went for a walk down the road. Someone saw him and called 911, and his mother was arrested and taken to jail.
I seen this.
The Georgia case could make parents think twice about letting their children run free. All right, Casey, put on your lawyer hat. Is this really a crime? I mean, how young is too young to let your youngins out and about?
You know where this kid walked from? The dollar store. And it was like, so just imagine if,
Is this local?
no, it was in Georgia. I'd seen it on TikTok. So this woman, this kid, I think he walked or rode his bike for a little while, and then they walked to the dollar store to get some like whatever you get at the dollar store when you're a 10-year-old kid.
Candy bars.
And imagine they were living like they said. I can't remember
Cigarettes.
the distance of the like how far he walked, but we did the math, and it was like if you would have walked from the South Side dollar store, he would have had to maybe lived by like out on South Cherry Street, maybe like midway up the hill, or like if you were
like
going
to the park?
yeah,
We're
like,
talking about 4 or 5 blocks.
yeah. But bigger blocks, or like if you were going out West First Street, it might have been out there by Pebble Beach Road, like the first one coming in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Less
So
than a half mile.
100%. Like it was not very far. And the kid's 10. Like he's 10 years old.
Well,
And this is not like a huge crime-stricken metropolitan area.
Here's what I'll say. There's a lot of dependent factors here. Some of it could be, is there a history of situations with this mother and children? What was the state of the mother when they...
Is the kid going to buy supper to make for his little brothers and
There's a
sisters
lot of
because
things.
she's strung out?
There's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, I think it's tough without
Yeah.
pulling
Gotta have
up
the
more
deeds.
of the details. But, I mean, when it comes to too young, I mean, my kids are all too young. I don't know what's the right age. The way I distrust
A
society...
mother in Georgia has spoken in national debate about how much freedom a child should have when she was arrested after her 10-year-old son was found walking alone. Brittany Patterson was captured on police body cam video being handcuffed and taken into custody after 10-year-old son had left home and was walking in their small town of Mineral Bluff. I was shocked, surprised, and disbelief. I couldn't really understand what was going on. They told me to put my hands behind my back, and then I had to ask to tell my children goodbye. Patterson was charged reckless conduct, which ignited a nationwide debate about child independence after her arrest. The Georgia mother was found. After her arrest, Georgia mother of 4 made the headlines. People everywhere, including talk shows, social media news, discussed their age of children to do things independently. So I don't really see much of the facts.
that's-
Oh, later that day, the Fannin Sheriff's Office reported that Soren, who is now 11, walked less than a mile into town to visit the local Dollar General store. Less than a mile. So let's just say if you were at the...
I let my kids ride their bikes to the neighbor's house on the corner to fish. That is much more than a mile.
Yeah. 100%.
Let him ride to the village to go fishing. That's
Right.
3 miles the way.
Patterson has declined to sign a safety plan. That was what that was her,
So
that was one of the plea things. Like, we won't charge you, but you have to sign this safety plan saying that you won't let your kids do this and that. And she refused. She said, no way,
I would have refused to.
we're going to trial. Like, you don't tell me how to parent my child.
Well, some of that sounds like involvement of the Department of Child Services.
No, it's not.
Well, but that
when
safety plan is that language.
When you watch the video of the woman like being arrested, like she's just a normal, like it looks like 100% like a normal mom, like what you or I would look like. I mean, they're normal people. Like, they're riding 4-wheelers with full chest protectors and helmets and shit. They don't look like deadbeaty type people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tough, but you always wonder if there's a history there.
If any parent has read any of the Beverly Cleary books, Beverly Cleary books, Ramona or Henry Huggins, these kids were roaming the neighborhood in a way that we would call free range now. Parenting expert Don Friedman said, we used to allow our children some freedoms that are no longer now that we no longer allow them. And I don't think it's to their benefit. It's only to ours.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Would need to know a little bit more, but anymore, it's hard to say. A declining art. Hosting people in your home for dinner creates an intimacy that you just don't get when meeting them at a restaurant or a bar, but people are busy, broke, and burnt out. CNN cultural writer Hamet Kaur explains why the dinner party is all but dead. I'll admit I'm guilty as charged. I cannot remember the last time I hosted a dinner party. What about the Dutchmen? Well, who in the hell calls them dinner parties anymore?
Yeah, I've never hosted a dinner party, but we host people all the time.
You guys want to come over for supper?
Got a fresh roast in the oven.
I think the intimacy part, is that the word that was used, intimacy?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it's at. Like, because that's the thing. Your kids can't run around and be kids because, like, there's people out here. You know, like, I'd never take my kids to the Butcher Barrel with you guys and all your kids, because that's just asking for somebody to get butt hurt.
Yeah, tear shit up. Yeah, right.
But, you know, you have everybody over. Like, I'll yell at your kids. You'd yell at my kids. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody has a good time. I think that's the draw to it for me is
we do it. We haven't for a while because our house has kind of been wad-effed, you know, with everything. But now that we've got the TV and everything in the garage, I can only imagine what this spring will bring. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, people coming over.
I mean, I smoked that turkey roll, and me and my dad, we watched football, and I have my parents over, and as far as like a full-blown meal, you know what I mean, 95% of the time whenever I invite you or the Shirleys or Dave or whoever, you know, somebody will bring something or a bag of chips or some salsa, and we'll just sit down and bullshit and hang out.
We haven't done it in a year and a half, and it's longer than that because we've been doing this for 3 years. It was pre the Wondering Dutchmen, but we would push hard, and we'd have Sunday fun days basically, and it was just a rotating dinner night of different folks in Holland.
Yeah, we did that. We've done that since then. I can remember doing that.
Well, but we did it like pretty religiously. Like every Sunday, we were going to somebody's house. They were coming here, and kids would play. In the winter, it wouldn't be so much, but when kids can
swim or ride bikes or do whatever,
play wiffle ball, whatever it is in the yard,
grill out.
I just think this article is misguided because they're making it look like
it's probably
you're putting on your Sunday best and you're sitting down to do dinner.
Yeah, nobody's.
I just don't think society is that way anymore.
And in an urban area, it's probably a lot different.
Well, and I think some of it goes to you don't know who your neighbors are anymore.
Yeah,
you know, you don't know who.
You're right.
You know, some of those things are different that way.
That's a real good statement because I tell people, and I had to explain it quite a few times. When I was in Tampa, I'd say something about in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, you know, in the neighborhood. But realistically, we don't live in a neighborhood. My neighborhood is State Road 64 out to at least 1025, and then the Pike County line to nearly Ferdinand. You know what I mean? Like,
but I mean, like the intimate dinner party where the house is clean and
candles and centerpieces on the table, and
I can remember my parents having some family friends over
here.
Well, we're not eating, I guess. Yeah. But, you know, if Brado wants to host a dinner party and invite the Dutchman, we will accept, depending on what he's cooking.
Yeah.
And if we have to, I don't know if he does the cooking or if
we have to bring our wives.
Mrs. Brado does or not. Yeah.
He's going to
I
take
think there was
offense
a
to that.
dish he brought up his dad makes that he said he was going to.
Old Taz is a cook.
He's an Armenian.
Yeah, there was some dish he posted. Oh, I'll have to have Taz make you guys up some whatever this is, and I've not. What the hell, Brado?
I don't know what it is.
A small glass of wine each day might be good for the heart, study finds.
Uh-oh.
Small glass, Dave. But slow your pour. Many medical experts don't have great feelings about daily wine consumption. Nothing really to add here. Just put it in here for old smoke. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and stay safe for the new year. Sounds like Brado's taking some swipes here at you.
Well, I tell you what it
I
is.
think he owes him.
I don't think that a glass a day is probably good for you, but I think that amount's probably good. And I just drink mine once a week.
Yeah, you get
I
all
got
yours
7
in one
days.
go.
That's
work.
like all in the same day.
Yeah, and I think it's more effective that way. I can feel my heart being happier and healthier when I guzzle down a bottle and a half or two of wine.
Of that sweet fruit berry wine. Yeah,
Somebody, a friend of the program, Miss Karen Snyder, said a glass of dry wine a day keeps the heart doctor away. And I didn't know that, but I think it's the real dry red shit.
You're looking
And mine's not dry, right? It's like
No.
a half dry.
semi-sweet.
I wouldn't maybe even say like a quarter dry.
Okay.
I don't half
Something
might
to work
be a
on.
stretch.
Something to work on.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of it, what people the reason why it's in the reds and not the whites is the type of grape used, and there's a chemical, like not a bad chemical, but a chemical from the grape, like
Enzyme, I think, is what we're looking for.
phenol or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's one of those things that, and it's
might be a mean.
I can't get to the science of it, but it's
So what is it? Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
Yeah, Pinot Noir would be. The
I like a good Pinot.
That would be the number one ranked for heart. High in resveratrol and
Yeah, that's the phenol.
an
that I was talking about.
antioxidant that may
Antioxidant.
that may improve heart function.
Mm.
Yeah.
A Merlot, and then the third would be a Cab Sav.
What
Carbon
do
salt
I
in there.
have?
You have semi-sweet.
You're just a
red.
blend.
Where's that after? Is that like 7 or 8 on the list?
It's
I bet
not
it's
even on
top
the
10
list.
for sure. Top 10 for sure.
Uh,
Hey, go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Brado, thank you for those 3 big things of the week. We're going to take one more trip around the table, and that's brought to you by Love Excavating.
If you have a driveway that is rock like Esquire's, you know this freeze, thaw, and rain is detrimental to the cause. You know who can help you fix your driveway? Love Excavating. Love Excavating can provide a plan to help redirect water flow down your driveway and put the proper drainage in to help it keep from water collecting. Love Excavating can also smooth out your driveway, haul in gravel that you so desperately need, and make sure that your driveway isn't one that people will complain about. Give them a call today. Your driveway, your spouse, and your guests will all thank you.
All right, Smoke Dragon, some final thoughts, my friend.
Well, I'm fixing to get into some of this semi-sweet red wine and see if it does my heart any good. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But while we're talking about heart health and sadness and everything, T's and P's to Brado. He's going to have to be going to work here come Monday. It's been 2 weeks of not being there. So we're pulling for you, buddy, and I'll pour this first glass for you.
Hey, here's a quick question. So this is on the record. How do you
What's
take,
the over and under on the time?
Time.
Where are we at?
I'm going to throw out.
I'm saying 8:15.
No, it'll be before 8.
So I think it would do unfair. We can't put it on here because he's going to listen to it, the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then respond. And if you put the time, then he might dodge it just because we said it.
Just because. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to
So maybe we'll post on the Facebooks here.
What time we think?
Yeah, just,
I think
we'll
it'll
all
be
make a
before
post.
8.
Okay.
It'll be before
So this
8.
comes out, this comes out Friday the 3rd, and he's going back to work
Monday the 6th.
Monday the 6th.
He'll be on the treadmill Friday morning listening to us bright and early.
Yeah. It may even be before 7:30. May be there.
Yeah.
All right, big fella. Final thoughts.
Hey guys, good week here. Good episodes. It was nice sitting down, having a few beers. It just kind of feels old school tonight. There was a good flow. It was kind of fun starting, before dark and everything like that. We got the whole evening ahead of us here. Take advantage of the time that you got and, to spend with friends. If you don't have any friends, make it a priority to
Change your ways, you piece of shit.
Yeah, and
Because it's obviously you.
spend some time, for yourself. It is a new year, new you. Like Casey said, most New Year's resolutions are known to fail within the first 30 days. So you got to take baby steps if you want to make big changes.
Baby steps.
And other than that, that's all I got, guys. Keep your stick on the ice. And Happy New Year.
Not too much from me. I forgot to on Wednesday's episode, but of course, a big thank you to Love Excavating and Merkley and Sons. We appreciate them taking care of the month of January for us. Excited when this airs, we will already be a week into January. So that means 51 more weeks to go in 2025, but not counting, just letting everybody know. But in seriousness, we're past the holidays. We start getting into that real winter drubbing.
Oh, yeah.
Of those winter blues. It happens. You don't have the holidays to look forward to anymore. You got January. You get into February. You start seeing that sunshine and green grass, hopefully in March. But take time to be out in the public. Raider basketball's playing pretty good. Coach Hayward, our buddy Teddy Hoops, they got him going. I said Hayward. Haywood.
It was a mixture.
Coach Haywood and the Raiders and Teddy Hoops, the boys. Go catch a game. They're playing pretty well. Tate Whitehead setting some records there. Most 3-pointers scored in a career. Beat out we'll call it friend of the program, Colson Montgomery.
Right.
And I think he's chasing down a couple more. I think he's close to 1,000-point mark. But we'll obviously talk to our buddy Curdy G sometime. Soon. We miss Curdy G. He's kind of that. He's a brother of ours. He's part of the family. Mrs. Curdy G.
He's in.
Anyways, always excited to sit down with you fellers because this is about the most consistent thing we've probably ever done in our lives.
I know.
And it's great. So with that, take us out of here.
Dutchman out.